Well, welcome and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Mansing. Senator Judy Buckley is working on legislation that has the community buzzing. The freshman senator wants corporal punishment banned in all schools, but she says this bill is still in the early stages, so she's talking to everyone about the best course of action. News 2's Erica Parsons has that story.
I just feel like it's a conversation that's long overdue. I realize how much heat I'm getting for this in the community, but I'm not going to back down.
That's freshman Senator Judy Buckley's stance on a bill she wants passed to ban corporal punishment in all VI schools.
What I want to see happen here is to have the Board of Education and the Department of Education come up with a very clear and concise discipline policy. Because of the way our VI code is currently written, it states that when a child is in school, whomever works at the school, principals, monitors, teachers, anyone can act as that child's parent. It doesn't define what they can or can't do.
That's where the senator says the problem lies. And she says while about 20 states still allow physical discipline in schools, it must be documented.
I don't assume that every teacher is doing this because I know a lot don't. As a matter of fact, the majority of them don't. But for the ones who do, I'm learning that many times principals aren't even aware because they aren't required to document it. Corporal punishment in most other places, it's done in a, it's usually not done by the teacher. It's done maybe with, using a paddle by the principal. I can live with that, but that's because we have not given teachers more resources and we haven't trained them better as to how to handle disciplinary problems. They're having to decide on their own, and that's not fair to them either.
She said research has shown
it's been banned around the world in most places because there's so much data that shows the negative effects of it.
Critics of the bill have said the culturally sensitive issue is a distraction.
That piece of legislation is one of probably 23 or 24 pieces of legislation I have in. It's just the one that's getting all the attention. I've heard a lot of people say that, well, that's just the way we do it in the Caribbean. It's part of our culture. Trinidad banned corporal punishment, I believe, in 2002. Haiti has banned corporal punishment in schools. Right now, the legislation as it's written says that schools have the right to use reasonable force as necessary to quell several different things, whether it's self-defense, whether it's to stop other students from fighting, whether it's to stop, to get a weapon from a student. So we're not saying you can't still control your kids. We're just saying you can't just hit them whenever you feel like you need to.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
The bill hasn't gone before a committee yet, and Senator Buckley plans to continue the dialogue with parents, experts, and educational officials. News 2 will have comments from the Department of Education later this week. A 14-year-old student on St. Thomas was arrested Friday on charges of drug possession. Police say school officials at the Edith Williams Alternative Academy were conducting a random search Friday morning when a school resource officer saw the student acting suspiciously. They noticed 3 bags of what turned out to be marijuana in the student's possession. The minor was held in protective custody and will appear in juvenile court for his advice of rights. St. Croix police are looking for 29-year-old Jevon Hedrington, who is charged with first-degree arson domestic violence. Police say on April 14th, he tried to burn down a house in Constitution Hill where a relative of his child's mother lives. The next day, witnesses saw Hedrington throw an accelerant on the apartment door in the Candido Guadalupe community where his child's mother lives and then set it on fire. She was able to extinguish the fire and no one was hurt. Police have issued a wanted poster for Hedrington, who is 5'9" and 140 pounds. Police are urging Hedrington to turn himself in. Well, as an update to the story we ran Monday about this GERS payroll issues, the agency confirmed that retirees with accounts at Banco Popular did receive their direct deposits. As of 2 p.m. Monday, retirees with accounts at all other banks should have received their payments today. GERS officials said in a statement that they submitted the direct deposit file on April 9th, which was within the 48-hour requirement to clear before processing. They also said they deposited enough money to cover payroll. Officials said they have, however, put measures in place to prevent the same thing from happening again. On Friday, Governor John DeYoung Jr. took the time to meet officials from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, to discuss the support required for any potential natural or man-made disasters that may happen here in the territory. Among the topics discussed were continued advancement of the territory's emergency management systems and the development of the tsunami response program.
Your efforts, because I think for a long time the position that FEMA had was when the VI gets hit hard, we're going to have to come in and do everything ourselves instead of we have a partner to work with. Sir, you're the partner everybody's been looking for, so we want to make sure we're supporting your team.
That with the director and with Alex and with your officers, now we focus towards tsunamis. My biggest concern is now, we do hurricanes very well, and we also know when they're coming, but the tsunami is what scares me more than anything else. Is that
Wholesale gas prices went down today. Hovenza lowered the cost of regular gas per gallon by 13 cents for gas station owners. The cost for premium gas was cut by 14 cents per gallon. That means independent station owners will pay $3.20 for regular and $3.54 for premium. The price of diesel fuel remained the same, so station owners will still purchase diesel fuel from Hovenza at a cost of $3.68 per gallon. Well, in an effort to draw more visitors from Denmark to the territory this summer and fall, the Department of Tourism announced the launch of a new bookable offer during a visit to the Scandinavian countries. Since the announcement, more than 25 hotels on St. Croix, St. John, and St. Thomas have signed on to participate. Travelers who book the promotion will receive a $150 instant credit on bookings of 5 nights or more, and an additional $150 instant credit when booking another back-to-back 5-night stay at a hotel on a different island within the USVI. The offer may be booked now through July 31st, 2013. Well, a very special guest is here in the territory thanks to a wish that was granted. What was his wish? To come to the Virgin Islands to swim with the turtles at Coral World. And everyone teamed up together to make that happen as they partnered with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. If you had one wish, what would that be? For Daniel Lobello, his wish was simple. And his wish came through on Monday, thanks to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Coral World, and many wish helpers.
Well, I've always had turtles as pets from a very young age, and I really wanted to do it, and this was the only place I could do it. But that's not the only reason I'm here. It's very beautiful here. It's nice and warm and a lot of beaches.
Daniel has lymphoma, a blood cancer. Since 1980, the Make-A-Wish Foundation has enriched the lives of children with life-threatening medical conditions through its wish-granting work for young people from ages 2.5 to 18 years.
We were notified that a wish child was coming, and then Virgin Islands Make-A-Wish pulled together and tried to assist in that wish, and that meant board members and students and wish granters greeting Daniel Lobello at the airport.
They've been so kind to us. They just offered us this, and he was too sick to do it for a long time, and then now that he's 100%, we're so happy to come and enjoy it. So the Make-A-Wish people, they've been amazing, totally amazing.
The Virgin Islands is an extremely generous community. When we were notified a wish child was coming to us, it was really relatively easy just to plan the meet and greet. We had people volunteering to come to the airport. We had posters made, and we presented him with a gift basket of Virgin Islands things that were donated by very generous community. People in the community also donated, aside from the sea turtle adventure at Coral World, passes to the butterfly farm, passes to this tram going up to Paradise Point. Our children in the Virgin Islands who have been granted wishes have gone to Disneyland. They have met celebrities. They have taken trips. Make-A-Wish grants wishes to life-threatening illnesses that children suffer from. In the Virgin Islands, a qualifying illness is sickle cell anemia. We have a high population of sickle cell children here, and they will qualify for a wish. All we need is the referral.
For Danielle, though, his wish was very simple. One that he was very happy came through.
I just like the idea of an island because it's separate, so it's kind of has its own culture separate from the mainland, and it's not really influenced, and it's like you kind of get your own separate experience with each part of the island, with each island.
Now, the Antilles Interact Club, Tourism, and St. Thomas board members of Make-A-Wish Foundation that partners with Southern Florida, as well as Virgin Islands wish granters, all greeted Danielle at the airport on Sunday with a limousine waiting. Well, no arrests have been made and no one is claiming responsibility for the Boston Marathon bombings. Vanita Nair was at the scene earlier and got new information about the bombs that were used in the deadly attack.
A law enforcement official tells CBS News the bombs that exploded near the finish line of the Boston Marathon were built and put in place to look like pieces of trash. The devices were put inside pressure cookers and placed inside bags. The pots were packed with nails and small metal pellets.
We were maybe 10 feet away from the explosion.
Nicholas Yanni and his wife are among the survivors being treated for shrapnel injuries and pierced eardrums.
I couldn't hear too much. It's just a lot of muffled, ringing sound.
More than 170 people were hurt, several lost limbs. 3 people were killed, including 8-year-old Martin Richard. President Obama called the bombings a cowardly act of terrorism.
If you want to know who we are, what America is, how we respond to evil, that's it. Selflessly, compassionately, unafraid.
Surveillance cameras like this one nearby the crime scene are proving crucial to investigators. They are using them combined with cell phone footage and any photos they can find in the hopes of catching the suspect. Runners returned to the scene today to pick up belongings they left behind and their marathon medals. Leah Valgardson says despite the attack, she'll keep competing.
People aren't going to stop running. In fact, they'll probably be running even more.
Mourners are placing flowers and T-shirts near the crime scene. The area will be closed off at least until Thursday. Vanita Nair, CBS News, Boston.
And Governor John DeYoung issued a statement in support of the victims and families of the explosions. He says the prayers of the people of the Virgin Islands are with the residents of Boston during events such as the tragedy. All residents of the United States stand together in concern for our fellow citizens. We salute those who responded to the scene of the bomb explosion without regard for their own safety in clearly a dangerous and difficult situation. It is ironic that these incidents occurred on Patriots' Day, a holiday in Massachusetts which celebrates the spirit of this great American city. The search for answers continue. CAHS students are the recipients of $30,000 worth of new equipment, and the aim is to assist those struggling in reading. Last Friday, the Rotary Club of St. Thomas donated 30 new computers to the school that they have adopted that will be used for the Read 180 labs. Officials say these computers will be put to good use.
We have done our training of the teachers. We've purchased the materials and supplies, the site licenses, and the equipment. It's a computer-based program, and in order for the students to have access, we must have working computers. Presently, many of our computers had started to die on us, and we partnered with Rotary, and they've been able to get us these 30 computers.
That was Carmen Howell, the principal of CAHS. Time for our Carnival Corner. Schneider Regional Medical Center's lobby was transformed into a carnival arena filled with majorettes, troops, dancers, entertainment, and carnival royalty, giving the patients their chance to take part in carnival festivities. It's a carnival tradition, a preview of the adults and children's parades. This celebration also brought out a large crowd of anyone who wanted to get a first glimpse of Carnival.
It's really an honor for me because I've been just back for 2 weeks and happy to celebrate this cultural festivity of this tremendous history that we have as this legacy.
And the guests of honor were the patients at the Schneider Regional Medical Center. Every year, the Carnival Committee traditionally brings carnival festivities to the hospital to ensure no one is left out of all the carnival action.
It's really an honor to be here today as the new CEO for Schneider Regional Medical Center in celebrating what is now 19 years of this tradition of bringing the carnival to our patients, not only here at Schneider, but the supported nursing homes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lazuli Phillip, your Carnival Princess 2013, bringing you warm tropical greetings and a drug-free carnival.
Good evening to one and all. I am Hadisha Orita Marie Penn, your Virgin Islands Carnival Queen for this year's tropical scene. I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming out to tonight's festivity, Carnival at the Schneider Regional Medical Center.
and festival goers enjoyed everything that is the culture of Carnival. Wow. Well, of course, it all continues tonight. The future voices of Calypso will take to the stage for the Junior Calypso competition at 8 p.m. with lyrics like Where the Money Gone, Wappa, How the Island Running, and We Need a Change. Wednesday, it's the cultural night, King and Queen of the Band. And then Thursday, it's the VI Calypso competition. And the St. Thomas Carnival Village honoring Sir Frederick Anthony Larson of Chico's Distributing opens on April 19th, on Friday, 6 p.m. at the Fort Christian parking lot. In recognition of Alcohol Awareness Month, recognized every April, UVI's Division of Counseling and Placement, Health Services and Psychology Student Association will be holding a forum entitled Alcohol, the Silent Addiction, 5:30 Wednesday in the Administration and Conference Center. They say the aim of this forum is to help increase awareness and knowledge of the pervasive impact that alcoholism and alcohol-related problems have on individuals, their families, and more. The panelists include Dr. Sheena Walker and Lieutenant Rosalind Jarvis, Traffic Commander at the VIPD. Well, have you heard about VI Finest Foods? A groundbreaking ceremony was held on Saturday in Lindbergh Bay at the Old Merchant Market next to UVI's golf course. Over 100 residents, including the Lieutenant Governor Gregory Francis, Senate President Sean Malone, and Senators Jeanette Millen, Clifford Graham, Myron Jackson, and Tregenza Roach all came to support the official groundbreaking of the West Bay Supermarket opening 2014. Presenters emphasized the need for the entity, which would provide at minimum 35 full-time salary positions. West Bay Supermarket is under its parent company, VI Finest Foods, which has been operating in the Virgin Islands for over 15 years. Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.